Oh, pleasure. 2000 or 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee, 4-wheel drive, 4-liter, 6-cylinder, automatic. It's been sitting for a minute, so it's a little dirty. Forgive me for that. But we're a friend of mine's. We're going to do a head gasket on it. I think it's been a minute, but not very bright in here. But going to do a head from Autozone, see how that works, instead of having my buddy put a bunch of effort into doing a pro job and all that. Autozone's got these heads. I guess they have a tendency for warping, so they're I don't know, like $400 fully loaded. It's like, how do you pass that up? I can't get machine work done for that much. So I'm going to get her draining whilst I go eat lunch. I think all the water's out of it anyway, but we're going to make sure, and then pull her in and start disassembling. Hopefully we can get her disassembled and cleaned up, and then run the head down to AutoZone, do the swap-in, trade-in thing, and we'll get busy with the next one. Alright, probably stuff everybody's seen before if they're working on these things. I've done this a very similar job before, so I was kind of cheating a little bit. So I know if you take your intake manifold bolts off, you leave these, there's 2 bolts on the exhaust, one on the end. They're studs that go into the head. So you take everything off, but those stud bolts, the intake comes off. Then you can get to those stud bolts real easy. You do not have to take those off. All the oil's from the head. Head's super heavy. It's hard for me to get out. I'm a little baby, but got some cleaned up stuff. This is some aluminum scoring. It's smooth. There's no gouges. So we're going to run it and see what happens. Again, this is a friend. That's his decision. If this were mine, and I wanted, was either reselling it or if I was going to keep it for a long time, I'd probably pull this motor, pull that cylinder, pull that piston and look and, verify. But he just wants to make it last a little bit longer. Hopefully it won't smoke too much, and that's, again, it's really smooth. My buddy says it looks like aluminum scoring, so we'll be alright. Hopefully it's not a start of a piston ring going bad, but he did run this really hot, so it probably just had some problems right there, and that's the cylinder. Probably busted the head gasket. But we got new gaskets. Now this is my buddy, so we're not going super high dollar or high performance or nothing. We're just trying to get her running again. So I went to AutoZone. This is the first time, so we'll see. Went to AutoZone and bought a head. And the reason why I went this route is because this remanufactured head from, I think it's called Surefire, the company or the brand. The valves seem to be pretty consistent, so the seats look good. It's been decked, or I'm sorry, it's been surfaced. They surfaced all the gaskets, all the gasket places, even up here. And this head, loaded like this, valves and everything, was $432, I think. I mean, valves are, even though they're 6-packs, valves are, I don't know, $8-10 a piece. So there's $200 worth of valves, and then the machining work and the cleaning, and yeah, I just can't see how, as long as it works, should be all right. It looks good. I mean, even they even surfaced the gasket for, the machining surface. They machined the surface for the thermostat. So I mean, yeah, it looks pretty good. Pedestals all look straight, square. It looks like they looked at them or checked them, because it's got some little marks on it as if they were doing some checking. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it works fine and everybody's happy. This is all the parts that came off. It's a pretty straightforward job. Again, you don't have to pull the radiator. I thought I was going to have to, because I think I did that before, but I didn't take the air conditioning out. I didn't take the radiator. I didn't have to take the fan off. I did drain the radiator so I could get the water level. You can kind of see it back there. Get that water level below the surface. See it when I move it. Yep. So it won't be messing with the head gasket when we put it on. I still got to clean the surface here, clean those threads out. Right now I'm cleaning up parts, so I'm going to get all this off there. They used RTV before. I'm going to use the proper #1 Permatex. And anyway, we'll just get this stuff cleaned up and ready to go on. The Autozone near me did not have the head gasket that I was looking for. These are valve cover and intake exhaust. It's all one gasket. And I bought some Valvoline Max Life. So we're just trying to turn this one, make it a runner so we can get it back and have his car back, and hopefully that scoring is not a serious issue. I don't believe it is. Alright, well, I got to reuse the metal parts, but the rubbers come in the kit. Got these guys all cleaned up. I'm going to reuse the head gaskets. Got the old black silicone off. We're going to go back with Permatex #1 as appropriate. Power steering. I'm going to go ahead and reuse the spark plugs. Don't make fun of me, but they're spark plugs. There's nothing wrong with them. Clean these guys out. Ran fluid through all of them. Make sure I got all the water and stuff out that was, in the oil. These guys, I flipped them upside down. I just rinsed them off. There's really nothing wrong with them. These guys, I had to wire brush also, and also those. And the valve cover was quite the mess, but it's all cleaned up now. We're ready for putting it back together. I was going to try and do it in one day, but we're going to take a break and do it in the morning. Alrighty, new head is bolted on. It looked like it was in pretty good shape. I did a pretty good review of it a second ago. Torqued these guys to 110, except for this guy. It goes through the water. But I went ahead and put Permatex #1 on all of them just in case. Torqued them 22, then 45, checked the 45, then did 110 all around, except for this guy's 100. These guys are on. Push rods are all cleaned up, blowed off, cleaned off, put some lube on these, and torqued those to 24. Book says 19 to 26, so I just picked 24 just because. That's where my torque wrench ended up. I got this on loosely with just the two little studs. I'm going to call it a day. Got a party going on. Mama's making some dinner, so got a few people coming over. We're going to get cleaned up and then probably tidy this up later on. Well, it's all put back together. Oil, filter, filled it up with water. No water in there. I don't know, put it back together. Let's see if she starts. Had to replace the alternator. I don't know if I showed you guys that, but on the old alternator, the stud broke off. Wasn't replaceable, so it's $172 more than we wanted to spend, but it is what it is. Yeah, well, come on inside and we'll start her up, see what happens. There, I set you down so I don't have to carry it. Not bad. That's pretty tight. Running pretty smooth. I'm going to add some water and check her for overheating.